Hi guys, it's me Faye here at Faye Dusk, and I am back with another video. And in this video I'm going to be talking about witching on a budget. As I'm sure a lot of people have budget. Not very few people can just sort of few people have the situation where they can just go out and just go crazy and just be like, I'm just gonna buy every single witch book I come across. I'm gonna buy that £400 desk that I want to turn into an altar table or bookcase, antique bookcase or whatever. If you are one of these people, you are very, very lucky, but most of us, I know I certainly do, have a very strict budget and need to keep to that to be able to afford our everyday life sort of thing. And witchcraft is no exception. It can be very, very expensive to practice the craft. It can be, especially if you are very into tools and things, which obviously you don't have to have tools, but a lot of witches, I know I do, I love having altar pieces and different tools and things like that. I find it very, very helpful to my practice, but they can add up and they can get very expensive. And especially if you're just starting out, like I've said in previous videos, you can feel this sort of overwhelming pressure that you need to have certain candles, really big expensive amethyst clusters, lots of tarot decks and really fancy altar cloths, and the list goes on and on and on. And especially if you, for whatever reason, it's not in your budget, you can feel really sort of disheartened with your practice and sort of feel like, well, I can't practice until I'm able to afford these things. And I think that's a very big shame if you feel like you can't practice because you don't have the money, you feel that you don't have the money, do you feel that you need to buy certain expensive things. So I thought, my hair is really annoying me. so I thought I'd just do this quick video just to say, or just to give you a couple of tips on witching on a budget, as I would hate for anyone to deny their path and deny their calling because they feel like they can't afford it. So there is so many ways you can afford it. So my top tips for witchcrafting on a budget is, tip number 1, you don't need anything at all. You can totally improvise. This may sound scary, as you may have watched YouTube videos or read in books the things you need to start practicing and things like that. It can be scary and you think, well, I can't be practicing properly if I am not using anything, but that's just not true. You can improvise by, say, for earth, for example, you can go out into nature and collect stones or leaves, or you could get you could dig up a bit of earth. It's always very important to ask Mother Nature for permission and to thank her for whatever bountiful goods that she gives you. And you could always find a little tiny Tupperware tub at home and put your earth, you could bless it and put your earth into that, or your stones or your leaves or your twigs or whatever you feel represents earth for you. You could use that, and that's one of your elements. For water, again, you can, if you're lucky to live by a local ocean or a river or a lake or a stream, you can collect rainwater, and that could be water for you. Air, you could use a feather. You could use a fallen feather from a bird or something that could represent air for you. Fire, you can, if you're able to and you have a small pot that you can burn things in, you can get a bit of earth or something and you could light that up, and that could be your fire, or whatever you feel means to you for the elements. And for the goddess and a god, you could get a cheap candle or a silver one that could represent the goddess for you and the moon, and you could get a red one or a yellow one or an orange one, and that could represent for you the god and the sun. Or you could get a green one that could represent the god for you, like in green man form, or anything. It's all about thinking outside the box and just going outside and just seeing what it is that you can find, and just working with what you have. So you could definitely do that. That's another good one. And also as well, there are so many discount stores around. You just have to look, like in your country. I know in America there's like Dollar Tree and Dollar General and Family Dollar and things like that. In England where I live, there's like Poundland and Pound World and B&M and 99p store and Home Bargains and all those sort of places. So it's just a case of, oops, sorry, knocked my camera then. So it's just a case of finding whatever it is that you could use that is cheap, and have an idea in your head of what you could make a little list and be like, right, I'm just gonna spend £10 or $10 or £5 or $5 or whatever euros or whatever. And you could write a little list before you go and be like, right, I need some tea lights, or I need 2 pillar candles, I need some incense sticks, I need some sort of tablecloth I can use as an altar cloth, I need to look for some sort of figurines that can represent the god and the goddess or whatever for the Sabbath. And just write a list and have your budget and just go into Poundland or wherever, and literally you'd be surprised how many things that you can find that would actually double up as magical items, and they're like £1 or $1 or £2 or whatever, and they're really cheap, and you can get some really nice stuff. So go in with an open mind and think outside the box and what you can improvise with, and you could get your whole altar set up for really, really cheap. And also as well, be on the lookout. You could go to thrift stores or charity shops and you'd be surprised what it is that people get rid of. They could be getting rid of, I don't know, china that you could use, chalices and things you could use in a ritual, or some sort of like knives you could use as aftermays, or there could be candles, there could be something you could use as an altar table. You'd be surprised what good things you can find in charity shops. And obviously because they're charity shops, they are going to be cheap, and also you're going to be giving back to the charity as well, so it's like a double win. So look around as well, and also as well think about the things that you do have. I'm sure most people have an attic or a loft or a basement that's full of boxes and full of things that they don't use anymore. So have a look and see. Just have a look around your home as well. You'll probably be surprised how many things you forgot you had or didn't know you had, and be like, oh, I could use that as whatever. So you could do that as well, and that doesn't cost you any money. So there is ways around. And as well, for spells and rituals and things like that, for ingredients, you don't have to have a whole host of expensive and complicated ingredients. When you have your spell that you've written, or spell for the book or whatever that you see, you can improvise again. You can improvise with the ingredients that you need. You'd be surprised how many things you can substitute. Like your spell may call for a pink candle, but you only have white candles. White is a substitute for all the different colors. And crystals as well, you may need a certain crystal, may need lapis lazuli for example, but you only have clear quartz. Clear quartz is a very, very good crystal to substitute for pretty much any crystal. So you've just got to sort of improvise and work with what you have. And spells and rituals, it is all about working with what you have, and it's your intention that is the main thing, not what you have, not what ingredients you have. They're just sort of to help you focus. They're not an imperative component of your practice, of your craft. So again, I have rambled and played with my hair for most of this video, so I am gonna go. And yeah, so I would love to hear what your tips and your sort of suggestions are for how you can witchcraft on a budget, or how you practice on a budget. I would love to know, and love to hopefully inspire me and other people. And yeah, I'd just love to know what your reviews are. So leave them in the comments below, and I will see you in my next video. Blessed be.